What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock out with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Oh, I got to get this gray up out of here. This got to come out by the weekend. We going to revamp. Hey, my cleaner, the person that comes by and does my homes and my this place and all of this stuff and even cleans up my studio, came through with a gift for me. Oh, dope. Shout out to my cleaner. I appreciate you. This smells so good. Let me see something real quick. Let me see what's happening real quick. Oh, snaps. Gave me another extra candle. Yeah, it's dope. Super dope. Celebrations Candle Company. I wonder if she sell these. Let me see something real quick. Thank you for supporting my small business. Shout out to her. Appreciate you, baby. Appreciate you, baby girl, for holding me down. Dope. Looked out for me. So, appreciate her. Thank you for personalizing this for me. It's dope. Smells really good. What up, friends? How y'all feel? How y'all feeling today? Everything good? This is what I promise to y'all. I love candles. I really do. I love candles. There's nothing more that I like from a smell, making sure that the place smells the way that it's supposed to, than looking at and smelling candles. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. What up, y'all? How y'all feel? This is like the Millionaire afternoon show because since it's Saturday, so we're going to do a Saturday show and a Sunday show as promised. I get to kick it with y'all. You said last night was crazy. Same old. We'll be all right. We figuring it out. As usual, shout out to everybody that watched After Hours last night. Shout out to everybody that's in the Millionaire Morning Show. This is what I promise y'all going forward, though. I promise y'all that I am going to work as hard as I possibly can from here until infinity, but definitely for the rest of this year, to put on and give y'all the best product and the best shows possible. I am going to work my ass off to do the best that I can to ensure that you guys get the best content possible and for the people that surround me to benefit the most from it. Anybody that is around me, anybody that is in my sphere, I am going to work as hard as I possibly can to make sure that you guys get the best out of everything. All right? As a boss, as a manager, as the leader, I am going to work feverishly to ensure that y'all get the most benefits out of anything that we putting together. And so that's what we're going to do. That's my promise. That's my salute to y'all. Also, to the bag chasers, I promise y'all I'm going to be doing the best live streams and giving y'all the greatest videos that you can get from a content creator. If you are a Patreon member, if you are a part of the Millionaire Morning Show, if you a bag chaser, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I promise you, I'm going to put everything that I have into it. And we've been doing some incredible live streams, providing y'all with some incredible information. I'm going to put everything that I can to make sure that y'all on top. All right? Shout out to my bag chasers. Shout out to the Patreon members. Shout out to everybody in the building. And starting, I believe, next week, I might start doing coaching calls. So we're going to put that together also. What up, y'all? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Let me read some of these super chats and these cash apps. First of all, I want to say what up to Mike That Dude. Shout out to Mike That Dude for holding me down. Shout out to the loyal people, man. You can't pay for that. You can't pay for loyalty. John Teal is just showing some love. Shout out to Molly. Molly looking out as usual and showing belated birthday wishes to Rita. Mike That Dude says, we don't miss. Never, never. Let me see. Y'all got a lot of questions already. Let me see what y'all questions are inside of the chat. You ever had to pull out of a business deal and why? I'm pretty sure. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. Most of the time, if you pull out of a business deal, it's instincts and you just don't know. It's so hard investing with people. You know what I'm saying? Having a partnership. So I haven't had to deal with that recently because most of the business that I do is 100% funded by me. So I don't have to deal with that as often. Shout out to Coach Chris. Thornton says, if you had the opportunity to change one thing immediately, what would it be? Immediately? If I had the opportunity to change one thing immediately, within myself or what's around me? It's a really good question. If I had the opportunity to change one thing immediately, one thing immediately, one thing immediately. I mean, that's such a broad thing. Maybe spend one more day with my father or something like that. I don't know. It wouldn't be financial. It wouldn't be anything like that. It would be something spiritual or something more meaningful, you know? It would be something like that, you know? I wouldn't want to bring them back because I think it's way better where they are. Why would I want them to suffer coming back here? You know what I'm saying? I just got some questions that I want answered. That's all. It's just some questions I want answered. I wouldn't want them to want to subject them to this world anymore. I'm pretty sure they way better off where they are. But probably just spend one more day with my father. That's about it. That's it. Just one day. I just got some questions. I'll be with him again at some point. What methods have you used to break bad habits? Replace them with new habits. If you want to break a bad habit, then you got to replace it with something else that's equal or more meaningful. You can't just quit something and think that it's just going to go away while you sit around and wallow and think about it. You got to replace it with something that gives you more value. That's the way that you break a bad habit. You know what I'm saying? Coach Chris says, what up, though? I appreciate you, Coach. These are good questions. When I first got into the workforce, my mother told me the worst thing an employee could do is call out of work the same day. Your thoughts? When I first got into the workforce, my mother told me the worst thing an employee can do is call out of work the same day. Worst thing an employee can do is to do a bad job, whatever that is. I don't know what that means. Real Life PJ says, shout out to everyone working today, but still tuned in for all of the derailments. We won't enable. You think y'all gonna get derailments? I don't know. I'm pretty focused right now. J Ben says, top of the morning. AD, also happy birthday to Courtney Egger. Happy birthday, Courtney Egger. Happy birthday, big dog. Happy birthday. What's good, AD? Today the kid birthday. Hope to see you. See y'all. Wish your boy happy birthday during my live stream. Shout out to Courtney Egger. You see them working on the building over there? It's pretty dope. Courtney, man, happy birthday, bro. You deserve it. You deserve all of the love. God bless your example of consistency. Thank you, Onaka. I appreciate you. Daniel says, do you think New York has a chance to flip red if the SAVE Act passes and all of the negatives from Kathy Hochul and Zoran the destroyer policies? No. No. New York has always been blue. Most core cities are blue. What do you think about Fidelity Go? What is Fidelity Go? Let's see it. Fidelity Go. Digital investing with access to coaching when your account reaches 25,000. Never seen this before. Ease into investing with our robo-advisor. Robo-advisor? What? So basically they leverage an AI. Monitor the markets, automatically rebalance the portfolio to keep you on track. Affordable investing, no advisory fee for balances under 25,000. 35.35% advisory fee for balances of 25,000 plus. Nah, we manage our own money over here at the Bag Chasers. I manage my own money. So we teach you the 8 things that we look for when we looking to invest in a company. We manage our own money. I mean, you could try it, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. For me, I'm 100% in on my own, and I'm focused on that. So I can't be doing that, bro. Yeah, I'm straight. I like the way my portfolio is set up the way that it is on its own. Sister Bethy says, Anton, I would love to have you on my show to discuss some great political topics. I tried to reach out respectfully. You email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. antondaniels413@gmail.com. Email me and I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see what my calendar is looking like. All right. Lavelle Cannon says, sup, big bro? Are you doing a Clarissa Shields fight? You know, I just came from over there. I was over at MGM Hotel earlier today. I ran into King Los. Shout out to King Los and his wonderful wife. Super dope guy. Ran into New Edition. Ran into Papoose. Bobby Brown was in there last night. Shout out to everybody that was at. I don't think so, man. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. One of the reasons why I don't think I'm going to be at the Clarissa Shields fight is because, honestly, I'm just not into the spotlight right now. The only thing I'm focused on is running it up and working hard. I just want to work, bro. Could I put that email in the chat? Hey, put the email in the chat, y'all. Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com. Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com. Hey, so let's talk about that for a second, because I was looking at what T-Pain was saying. Have y'all seen what T-Pain was saying? Well, first, let me share with y'all this article that ABC News was talking about. Because I see a lot of people keep saying, Anton, take a break, Anton, take a break.
Burnout by taking so-called adult gap years or mini sabbaticals. The Associated Press says more companies are allowing weeks or months of paid or unpaid leave as a way to retain employees. Now, an organization is working to push more employers and employees to embrace extended leaves. the founder of the Sabbatical Project and author of the upcoming book, Big Time Off, The Transformative Power of Sabbaticals and How to Take One. DJ Dodona's here with more on all of that. Hi, DJ. Thanks for coming on.
Happy to be here.
So you said almost half of Americans fail to take all their vacation days, and that wealthy people are least likely to invest in leisure time. Why is that, and how is that changing now?
I think there's a culture that lionizes people running two companies at the same time, sleeping under your desk. But at the end of the day, some of the most creative, interesting companies and breakthroughs happen when you actually take a step away from work.
But the sabbaticals you advocate for go beyond a vacation. And I think it's interesting how you classify them as working holidays, free dives, and quests. Can you explain the difference there and the benefits of each?
Yeah, so what we found in the research is that there's something vastly different around the scale of time off when you are taking 2, 3, 4 months versus just a couple weeks on vacation. And what people typically do is some form of swap out achievement in your working life for achievement on your personal side, like become fluent in a foreign language or get a yoga teacher certification. Other people just want to explore. So what's out there? What's like a bucket list thing that you would regret doing before you die?
Now, let me tell you what the problem with this is. The problem with this is for people that have taken care of business and for people that's on top of their game and for people that's about money. I believe that sabbaticals, all of that stuff, that's rich talk. And I know, like we was talking about my man that was on Netflix the other day and he had ALS and he was like, live every day right now. I agree with that too. Right? I agree that you are supposed to take care of business, be on top of things, and make sure that you live every day like it's your last. Leave it all out on the table. I say that every day. I leave it all out on the table on a regular basis. I was looking at what T-Pain was saying. Let me show y'all what T-Pain was talking about. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It says that my screen has lost access to the screen share audio. It said restart my browser. Let me restart the browser really quickly. Share my screen real quick. I don't know why I lost access, but this is what T-Pain was saying.
I know nobody asked for this, but I feel like I just want to send out an update because I haven't really talked to anybody in a while. I kind of been just not communicating with a lot of people. If you have texted me and I have not texted you back, I do want you to know that is on purpose. I've been chilling. I really have been chilling. After Super Bowl, I realized that I accidentally burnt myself out. I've been saying yes to everything, anything that anybody asked of me. I just jump to it. I do everything. And for about 2 years now, I have not really done anything for myself. And I haven't been able to sit down. I haven't been able to relax. I haven't been able to stop moving and anything. So I kind of took charge of that and just kind of took to myself right now. I was supposed to go on tour this year. I've canceled the tour. I just don't have the mental capacity. I don't have, just my brain isn't functioning enough for me to do something that heavy for everybody else. I was going to do March Music Madness this year, and it was supposed to start last week, but I had to cancel that because honestly, it would have just been a worldwide search for another artist I would have had to take care of, and it would have been a lot. So I canceled everything except for some of the shows. Obviously, I got, one-off shows on my books right now that I can't cancel, obviously, because, there's other people's money involved and shit like that. But anything for me, I've just been chilling. I've been every day waking up at 8 a.m. working on this thing. And it's been the most peace I've had in so long. I'm getting all that rust off of there too. But it's literally just been the most peace I've had. I've been out here for the most part by myself, just working on this. I had a few friends come by and help me work on it and stuff like that, but nothing major. I just been out here in complete silence, just working on this thing, hearing the clank of tools and just chilling. But yeah, man, I think I just needed peace. I needed peace for a minute. I needed to, that's why I haven't been streaming on Twitch. So, I apologize for not streaming, but I appreciate, y'all patience with me and all that shit. But like, I haven't even been recording the process of working on this because I just need a moment where I'm not just constantly entertaining somebody.
So I see what y'all saying inside of the chat. Y'all know that the chat is my co-host for the day. Dion says, I agree, taking time to reset is much needed. Element Leon says, people know when they need to have a break. Abe the Hunter says, AD, did you say you wanted to do that, fix cars? No, I said I wanted to enjoy the cars that I have. When I spent 2 or 3 days, and it's so funny. Let me tell y'all while I'm streaming from right here, right? I was out in the suburbs today. I went out and I'm chilling, and I was slow motion and I'm slow, getting myself together. And I actually went down to the studio because I was going to be streaming and working in the studio today, right? And I couldn't find my keys. I had lost my keys. I'm feeling around in my pocket. I got my wallet. I don't have my money. I don't know where I misplaced my money. There's got to be somewhere around here. And I can't find my keys to get inside of the studio. And so I wind up coming here. But when I was out there, I spent the majority of this week out there because I usually spend the majority of the week here. And then I spend the weekends out there because I need to be at the studio. I need to be in the city. I need to be moving and shaking and doing stuff and all of that, right? So I wind up coming here so I can actually live stream with you guys. And what I realized was I love my cars. I had forgot what it felt like to start up my Challenger, my Hellcat. I forgot what it felt like to start up my Porsche. I forgot what it felt like to start up my Honda CBR 1000 RR. I forgot what it felt like to play around with and tinker around with all of the cars. I ain't seen my Cybertruck start up in so long. It had just had snow on top of it and snow on top of it and snow on top of it. And it's just like, I love this, right? But I also love my studio. I curated my space in my studio to be ideal to kind of simulate a sabbatical, because what I do for a living, and this is the difference, what I do for a living, I don't look at it as work, even though I am working because I'm trading my time in for resources, but I don't look at it as work because I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her, I said, man, I got to get back out here because I had put the C-Tech trickle charger on it in order to keep the battery integrity of the battery together. And I was playing around with it. And then I had took her yesterday. I had took my daughter yesterday to actually put, because her birthday was yesterday. And so I took her and I went and got the deed, and I finally gave her house. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, it felt like a relief. It felt like a relief. It felt like when I finally gave her the deed to her house, it felt like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulder, or a burden that I didn't know that I had, because my whole life, or this last for however long, everything it seemed like that I had been doing for other people. Everything that I had been doing for other people, even living. I remember it was a time where my father had passed away where I was like, man, is life worth living? And then I looked over at my daughter and I was like, yeah, I got to keep going. I got to keep hustling. You find reasons to stay productive. You find reasons to continue to push yourself at times when you don't even want to do it no more. When you just, you know what I'm saying? When you just sick of life, because it seemed like everything is not working out the way that you want to at the time. When I see T-Pain going through this right now, I actually see a person that may not even be going through burnout as much as he's probably experiencing other different things that's happening in his life from the people around you. The people around you play a huge role in how you feel and what your mental capacity is. When I was sitting around playing with my cars and I was tinkering with the Hellcat and stuff like that, I had a lot of time to think. And I was just messing around and I wanted to pull it out and put up the navigator. And one of the things I was thinking is, I don't really care about the limelight right now, because the only thing I care about is stuff that's meaningful to me. I started evaluating all of the different people and the relationships that I have all around me. And I started trying to figure out whether or not it's a value add or it's a value drain. And I remember at the beginning of this year, check this one out. This one out. Do you know what I prayed? Because I don't do New Year's resolutions. At the beginning of this year, I prayed that God reveal who's for me and who's against me, and to remove the people out of my life, even if it was involuntarily, to remove the people out of my life that's not supposed to be there. Hello? What's up? Well, what? Yeah, I'm great. I'm live streaming right now. Go back to taking your nap. You want to speak to the people? Hold on. I'm going to put you on speaker. Go ahead and speak to the people.
Hi.
Go on back and take your nap.
Okay.
That's the first thing you thought of when you woke up, is to come check on me?
Yeah.
You breaking up.
Huh?
You breaking up.
That's the first thing I thought about.
All right, I'm going to call you back.
Okay, bye.
She said, I just woke up and I just called to check on you. Oh my God. But no, I did at the beginning of this year, and I'm starting to recall it. I asked God to reveal who people are that's around me, make sure that I don't have nothing that's slowing me down, and to remove the people out of my life that's not supposed to be there. Crazy how things is playing out the way that it's playing out. But again, when y'all ask me in that super chat, what's one thing that I can change? It was nothing about my life personally, because I always believe that everything is happening the exact way that it's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you thinking. Be careful how it is that you're moving, because that will what you say out of your mouth, it manifests itself.
I need a moment to where I can actually do something for me, and it's not for the entertainment purposes. It's not for content. It's not for any of that shit. I just want to, it sounds real bitchy, but I just want to be left alone for like a while. I haven't been left alone. This is the most I've been in a room by myself in like 2 years. You know, so this is I think everybody needs this. Burnout is absolutely fucking real. And I know I've been rambling. I didn't plan this out. It's just been a lot of people texting me, asking me to do shit for them. And I know motherfuckers will check Instagram before they check on their people. So I just want to put this out there and just say, hey, I'm not doing it. I'm not, whatever it is, I'm just not doing it. I gotta do something for me. I gotta have some me in my equation of my life. I feel like I don't even own my life. I feel like I just wake up and just my sole purpose is to do whatever everybody else needs to further their career and their dreams and shit. And I just want to chill. I don't need show money. You're not gonna get me to come do your show. You're not gonna. I don't give a fuck how much you willing to pay, unless it's. I mean, if it's crazy money, you know, I'd be stupid to not do that. But this little, trying to put me in a club and trying to, hey man, I got, the strip club, want you to come through and host it. I'm not doing that, man. My homeboy got a birthday party. I'm not doing it.
Facts.
I can't do it. I just don't want to. I just need the peace, man. I just need the peace. So yeah. Again, I know y'all check Instagram before y'all actually check on anybody. So this is the mass thing without having to text every fucking body that's been texting me. So this is just, I know this is long, but this is just what I need, man. And I think everybody needs this. And maybe y'all need to chill out too. Maybe y'all need to take a break. Maybe you need to sit back and say, maybe I don't need to promote this party right now. Maybe I don't need a T-Pain show. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just need to take a little bit off and maybe plan a little bit better. Maybe stack up my money so I won't call T-Pain and insult him with a fucking low offer. Maybe I need to stack up. Maybe I don't need to use the money from the party from last night and try to get T-Pain with that. I cost way more. Don't worry about that. The fact of the matter is, I'm chilling until I get done working on this and those.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Y'all taking advice, and I think that T-Pain is giving decent advice. But please don't measure yourself the same way that T-Pain is measuring himself. T-Pain looked like he got 30 cars. He probably got a house that's paid off. And he didn't work his ass off to the point to where he can actually have this luxury. He don't have to worry about money in the same way that other people have to worry about money. Don't let T-Pain gaslight y'all into thinking that y'all in the same position that he's in. And so I want y'all to be very clear, okay? T-Pain has worked to where he can afford to pull such a thing. All right? That's what T-Pain has worked towards. He has afforded himself the ability to take a break and say, I don't feel like doing nothing. And then when I do feel like doing something, I have the talent, the skill, and the work ethic to pull up and get it popping. Let's not mistake it, all right? Burnout is only for people that can afford to be burned out. If you are not making good decisions in your life, if you are not very intentional with how you spend your money, if you are not paid off your debt and up on your child support, and if your rent is due, you can't just go and fly out to somewhere else and go do what you want to do, okay? This is not for the regular people. This is for the T-Pains, all right? It's levels. I want to make sure that we level set. It's levels to this. It's levels to this. You may not be able to do the same thing that he doing. Your version of, hey, take a break may be use some of your PTO, go and have a staycation, go take a picnic. Maybe you need to go walk around in the park. I'm going to need you to not have the same perspective that T-Pain has, because T-Pain is pointing at a whole bunch of cars that he paid off, including, I see that Chinese joint.
The majority of
I saw. What's happening? I can't do it. Assault him with a fucking low. All of them 3 cars,
bro. That's a.
I'm doing
the Toyota. What is that? The Toyota whatchamacallit that he got out there? Like the Rolls Royce equivalent from Toyota that they actually make for the dignitaries over there in China? Or the Chinese, not the Toyota joint, the Chinese joint, the Chinese Rolls Royce. That's what that is the Chinese Rolls. He imported that. We not the same. We not in the same level. We not in the same bracket. We can't do the same thing. The Century, that's what it is. Thank you, your car. It's a Century. That's the Century over there. That's not, you don't even know what that is. You've never seen one. I've never seen one in person. I've seen it online because I love cars. I know what a Toyota Century is. That's a Century. That's not for us. That's not for us. All right? Taking breaks is for people that have actually earned it. Go ahead and use some vacation time. Plan out your vacation time accordingly. Take a weekend, play some video games or something. But please do not think that you're in the same bracket as T-Pain. I want to make sure that we all level set here. All right.
3 cars. So when I get done with them 3 cars,
He got Sprinter vans over there, Ford Transits. He got a 7-car garage, it looked like, or a 4-car garage or something. Man, y'all better chill out.
I'm still not done because I still got to play video games. When I get done with them cars, all I want to do is play video games for like a month
You seen one,
straight.
JB?
And then I'll get back to streaming. I'll get back to trying to entertain people. Probably not. I'm not going to lie. This shit is awesome. This is great. I have not understood Andre 3000 more than I do right now.
It is a level of peace that come along with mentally being in a good space. And I think part of that, again, is not to have any of these outside things that's nagging on and playing a role in whether or not you can survive on your own or not. So I think that there are a lot of people that it seems like is being burnt out right now. And I think that we have to learn how to manage it more effectively. And then you'll get to the point to where you need to be. But I'm in a really good space because I feel like everything is lining up for me to really do incredibly well for the rest of this year. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Coach Chris says, do you move when the spirit tells you to, or do you have specific goals and things you want to do and people to help of your own volition? The only person that I had left to take care of, which of course, you got, your Rita's mom and my mom and stuff like that. But those are basic things. The only person that I had left that I really wanted to create something for and to make sure that they were straight for the rest of their life and to make sure at least they had a home and an inheritance was my daughter. That's it. Once I got my daughter straight, I still got to put her through college. So there that is. So I still got to put her through college. But that's not that big of a deal. But after her, I'm about to be 100% selfish. I got a couple more things that I need to tie up as far as like, people and business and making sure that stuff is taken care of. But after that, I'm being 100% selfish after that. I'm 100% in selfish mode. 2027 and going forward, that's when I'm probably going to start building my home, like, building a forever home or something like that. And I'm going to be 100% selfish going forward with that. That's it, bro. I did it. Bridget, shout out to Bridget, says, once God removes what you've prayed for to be removed, be careful to keep it. They removed. Happy Saturday to all. No, when God removes something out of my life, he remove it. Ain't no going back. Ain't no going back, man. I heard that could be a good thing. When is that? You heard what can be a good thing. When is that? When is what? When is what? I don't know what that means. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I want to look at this other story really quickly. It's of a woman or a girl. They say that this girl went on a first date and she never returned home. Have y'all heard about that?
College student in Milwaukee vanished after a first date. Law enforcement used an app on her phone to trace her whereabouts. As investigators zeroed in on the teen's movements, they uncovered chilling security camera footage. 48 Hours correspondent Anne-Marie Green has more.
On April 1st, 2024, Sade Robinson, a 19-year-old college student from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, went on a first date, but she never returned home. The next morning, the charred remains of her car were found behind an abandoned building. Lead Detective Joe Donner of the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office.
This is Sade's vehicle.
This is pretty much completely destroyed.
It is.
Suspecting something terrible had happened to Sade, Detective Donner and her team took note of the position of the driver's seat.
I then went to a dealership and found an identical model.
With the driver's seat in the same position as the one in Sade's vehicle, Donner grabbed a deputy who was about Sade's height.
And when she sat in the car, she couldn't touch the pedals.
There was no way Sade was the last person in that driver's
I
seat.
remember her.
No.
Remember we did a live stream on her and we was talking about her missing. I remember her. I definitely remember doing a live stream about her. Ain't this her right here? Oh, yeah. Oh, this was the white guy, the serial killer guy. Snaps. Yeah, she went on the first date with this white guy, this serial killer white guy right here. And he wound up going to court and getting convicted. Or he didn't get convicted. He had got arrested and he was standing trial in court. I remember that. Oh, snaps. That is her. Shit. Yep, it's this guy right here. I remember this. This was like a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I remember this.
Donner says the last person to drive Sade's car had to be at least 6 feet tall. Sade's date that night was 6'1", 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson.
Be careful what y'all ask for. Oh my God, I want him to be 6 feet and for him to be a white man because white man is generous and white women say that they marry for money and they don't ever have to work again and I don't want to contribute and I'm not looking to be single for the rest of my life and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Whatever it is that you want, you know what I've learned? You know what I learned? This is one of the lessons that I told my daughter. I told my daughter a couple different things yesterday. I said that it was important for me to leave you an inheritance, and that's what the Bible tells us to do. And I was telling her that inside of the deed office. And I also told her, I said, whenever you ask for something, make sure you say, but let your will be done and not my will. Because a lot of times we ask for stuff that's not best for us or that we may not be prepared for or may not work out for us or any of that type of stuff. And just because it may look good to you, it may be deadly for you. Because it looks good to you, it may be deadly for you. I remember when I was younger, and I know that this is completely unrelated, but it makes sense for what I'm trying to tell y'all. I was younger. I was in my 20s. And it was when the Pontiac GTOs came out. It was like the revised version of they took the European body style and they was using it for Pontiac, but it was calling it the GTO, and it had a Corvette engine in it. And I remember I was going to the dealership and I was in my 20s and I was about to buy one because I was doing really, really well. This was before the 2008 crisis. I was working at the plant. I was making a whole lot of money and I was doing really well. I didn't have any children. And I'm telling you, I went into the dealership and I was talking to the sales guy and he was like, so you ready to do it? And it was like a little voice that popped up in my head and it said, you're going to kill yourself. And I was like, nah, I listened immediately. I was like, nah, I'm good. The voice in my head. And I said to God, and this is what I said. It was like a mini conversation that I had in my head. And I said to God, this looked like this is for me. And he said, that's absolutely not for you. You are going to kill yourself. I remember it was a girl that I thought that I was going to get into a relationship with and wind up marrying her. It was another girl. It was a girl. Give y'all a little bit of insight. It was a girl before Rita that I had got into a relationship with. And contrary to what people think and the narrative that's created, I stayed out the way. Rita stayed a virgin all through high school. But we wasn't in a relationship. We was just good friends. And there was another girl that I wound up talking to after I had graduated. And I thought that that was going to be the girl that I wound up being with for a long time. And one day I was chilling with her and I was just sitting and kicking it. And I was like, is she the person that I'm supposed to be with? And I'm telling you, it's as clear as day. It's as clear as day. God says she is going to ruin your life. That is not your girl. I know y'all think it's crazy, but I'm just going to, I got to say it, regardless of whether you agree with it or you disagree with it or you believe it or you don't believe it. He said, that is not your girl. She going to ruin your life. I kid you not. And the one thing about me though, is I do a lot of stuff. I make a lot of mistakes, but when I know that it's God's voice, when he says something to you, I listen. And she wound up going off to college. She wound up getting accepted into a specific school, and I'm not gonna get into that. And she wound up going off to college, down in Atlanta. She moved down to Atlanta, and I'm guessing that she did okay with herself, and all of that. But he said, that is not your girl. She gonna ruin your life. That is not your girl. She gonna ruin your life. And I said, interesting. And I kept it moving. And everything worked out the way that it's supposed to. But what I'm saying is, listen, y'all, there are so many other things and so many different things that plays a role in our lives. When we think that we have the answer, or when we think that things make sense, or when we get an answer that don't make sense to us because we got it made up in our mind of what it is that we think is supposed to happen, it's so many different barriers and signs that happen. That's like, yo, that's not it. Yo, that's not it. Yo, that's not it. Yo, that's not it. He don't even look like the type of dude that seems like a fun time. Looking at this guy right here, he does not even seem like the type of dude that looks like a fun time. In my opinion, this nigga looked like a serial killer. He looked like a serial killer.
On Sade's phone, investigators found a clue that could tell them everywhere Sade went the night she disappeared, the Life 360 app.
Unlike Find My iPhone,
the grown people don't want nobody to know where they are because they think that you know what I'm saying, they sneaking. The grown people don't know. I got at least three people that know where I'm at all times. One of them is my daughter.
that gives you where your phone is right now. Life 360 gives you historical data.
As investigators traced Sade's movements from her app, they obtained security camera footage of Sade with Anderson on their date. Anderson would later say that when he and Sade parted ways, she was fine. But hours later, according to her Life 360 app, Sade's phone arrived at an area along Lake Michigan. Investigators went there and uncovered this grainy footage of a figure seemingly dragging something to the lake.
Who do
That
you
is so messed up, bro.
believe that figure is? Maxwell Anderson.
Oh, that is some eerie footage there. 48 Hours correspondent Anne-Marie Green is with us in studio to talk about this week's episode. Anne-Marie, good morning. Great to see you, as always.
Yeah.
How crucial was that Life 360 app? Because I heard you speaking to some other people about that story. They're like, we need that.
This app is something else. This is not like Find My Phone, right? This uses GPS. So it's very accurate in terms of locating where her phone was that night. It was crucial, incredibly crucial, because almost immediately they knew where she went, so they could
So what's the difference between the Find My app and the Life 360 app?
go to those locations, get things like surveillance video and other evidence that would have been lost if they had waited weeks.
And how unusual was it for her to be at, is it Warnemont Park?
You said it right. So this is kind of a large park, but very unusual for her to be there at that time of night, and especially that location. Her family thought it was very, very odd.
What about Max?
So do y'all think that Life 360 is better than Find My? I don't know what the differences are.
Well, Anderson,
Yeah.
did he have ties to the park?
So
how close is he to the guy?
Yeah, a little different for him. We actually spoke to one of his ex-girlfriends who said that he would go to the park all the time, but specifically he went to one particular area that he sort of thought of as his own. He would take his girlfriend there. He called it his secret beach. So as you can imagine, when investigators learned about this, they were very interested.
In our last few seconds, we saw this like experiment with the driver's seat. Were
Yes.
investigators able to tie him to that car and being behind the
Well,
wheel?
you know, Sade was short and he was tall. He was 6 foot tall. And the thing about the driver's seat is that there's no way somebody shorter than 6 foot would have been driving that car when it was set on fire. And that was just another indication that Sade was not the one driving.
Bro, at this point, if you are a serial killer, if you out here doing crime, you might as well stop, bro, because technology is advancing so rapidly to where the only way you can get away with something is if everything work out the exact way that it's supposed to work out, bro. Somebody says it'll draw all of your previous movements, but that's what Find My do also. You ping off the cell phone towers all day long. That's how they knew that Fawny Willis's boyfriend was spending the night every night. That's how they know where Fawny Willis's boyfriend was every night and whether or not she was paying him with the people's money. Everything, honestly, everything at this point seems like it's against you. Bro, I even be thinking about closing my windows. I'm at the top floor, so I don't have to worry about it. But I be thinking to myself, I'm like, man, you know what? I think I'm about to close my window. I used to be the type of person that when I went to a hotel room, I would make sure that all of the windows are super open. But then I started looking across looking at the other hotels, and I was thinking to myself, if I could see them, why they can't see me? You know what I'm saying? Or I would jump on the people mover, and when it was going around, I could see in the other people's places, and I was thinking to myself, well, how is that any different? I mean, I know they can't see all the way up here to the top, and it's the tallest building out here right now, but I'm not really sure if this makes as much sense as I thought it did, especially at night. I don't know. But yeah, man, that's messed up. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read what y'all talking about. Y'all crazy in this chat. Hey, D, can we get such and such back on room 9? It would be lit with all what's going on right now. That's not in my control, bro. Honestly, that's not in my control. I don't know nothing about that. 1090 talked about this, says T.S. Kyle Washington. Are you talking about Jake, 1090 Jake or something like that? I mean, debt can be a good thing, says Coach Chris. Shout out to Coach Chris. Debt is never a good thing. I don't know how you can say debt can be a good thing. That's an oxymoron, bro. How you leverage debt, but debt itself is not a good thing. In no way, shape, or form is it a good thing. Self-Made Forever says 80 just happened this week. Tanea Tover, 17 years old. Look up the story. The single mom left her off to go for 2 weeks. All right, let me keep that popping. You was cranky last night, AD. No, I wasn't. No. Y'all not gonna pin that on me. I know what y'all like to do. Y'all like to say, let me tell you what they always say to me. And this is the burden of being a leader or the owner or something like that. Everybody try to make it seem like, man, such and such was feeling this way because you wouldn't check the other person. Or such and such was feeling this way because, Anton, you wouldn't step in. And it's like, bro, stop trying to hold me accountable for everybody else. The only thing that I'm going to accept responsibility going forward for at this time is what I do. I'm not accepting no responsibility from nobody and what nobody else is saying. Y'all not going to sit here and say, I was cranky. I wasn't cranky. I was actually in a really good mood. Oh my God, Anton, so you was feeling, no. You're not going to hold me accountable at all. I'm not doing that. Anton, why don't you do this? Anton, why don't you? No. Answer is no. I'm only accepting responsibility for myself going forward. I'm not letting y'all gonna keep do that to me. Nope. Slow Money says, okay, hold on. I've seen this. Debt can be a good thing if you know how to use it. Okay, tell me how debt is a good thing. Tell me how debt is a good thing. I want to know. Slow Money says, what up, AD? Been taking the info and applying it to the best of my ability, but it is always good to have good counsel waiting on the coaching call. I'm going to set that up this week. I'm ready now. I had to take a year off to get my mind right and to focus on other things and to blow up all of this other stuff. Now I'm ready. Coaching calls is back. TS Car Washing Detail Service says, thoughts on the Grand Rapids shooting? Well, let's find out. What is this Grand Rapids shooting that you speak so intently about?
Wood TV8, this is a breaking news alert.
I will get justice. Who gonna walk this up? They killed my son. It's the last black child that died unjustly.
The mother
always amazed at people that have such a loud voice on their own without a microphone. That's like
of a man shot and killed by Grand Rapids police last night, leading a march to call for justice. We have team coverage tonight. News 8's Adriana Doria is at that vigil right now. We'll get to her in a moment. But we want to begin with News 8's Nicole Tam, who's breaking down partial body camera footage released today by police. Nicole, what does the video show?
Brian, Chief Eric Winstrom from Grand Rapids Police Department told us at the start of the press briefing this afternoon that they decided to do this because there's been a lot of inconsistencies, as he said, online. So they wanted to share their perspective. And that's what we got this afternoon through 3 videos. 2 of them came from one officer. That's the K9 officer. So in the first video, you do see from his body camera of him driving in the cruiser. And then as they approach the scene at that apartment where those shots were eventually fired. The second video is from the car's perspective, dash cam of that. And you see a wide shot of the interaction of the officers, but you can't see clearly whether or not Daquan Johnson actually pulled out a gun, although you can hear officers say that he has a gun moments before those shots were fired. Sorry, I don't know if you missed that because of that motorcycle that just came by, but as I was saying, you don't know exactly whether those shots were actually, or whether the man actually had a gun in the video itself, but you hear officers saying that. We also asked Chief Winstrom why they were pursuing him in the first place, because they estimate that chase where Johnson was on a bike happened for about 90 seconds before they stopped at that apartment complex. He did share with us that he was on parole.
There's certainly other legal reasons to stop that individual, but the radio traffic that we're familiar with said that he was suspected of having a gun. Obviously, you're on parole for a gun. You're not legally allowed to carry a gun, so that could have been part of his fleeing. But I'm not aware that he had a warrant.
Winstrom says those officers also had tasers but did not deploy them because the K9 was the less lethal option. And he explained in another clip that we showed you earlier this afternoon that the guns were the option that they chose because the less lethal option of the K9 wasn't viable enough to stop Johnson. That's their perspective. We're going to try and break down all of what was said from police along with those 3 videos for you throughout the night here on News 8. Live in.
Let me back up for a second.
Breaking news now on 13 on your.
That's hurt. That's gonna miss this young man.
We begin at 5 o'clock with breaking news coverage of a police-involved shooting in Grand Rapids. Police held a news conference less than an hour ago and provided body camera video. The man shot by the officer last night is identified by his family as Daquan Johnson. He died at the hospital this morning. We have multiple crews following this story tonight with the reaction from family and witnesses. But we begin with 13 Your Side's Nick Nelson.
of Daquan Johnson last night. Now, here's a look at that video. In part of the video, you can see the man identified by family as Johnson being pursued by a police officer while on his bicycle. Around 9:30, Winstrom says the officers followed him into the parking lot of an apartment complex. According to the video, while being restrained by the officers and the K-9, one officer says that Johnson is holding a gun. 3 shots can be heard from the officers, and Winstrom says he believes the man was struck in his chest. He died from his injuries early this morning.
There's a lot of inconsistencies or outright falsehoods being spread on social media. And tragically, this young man last night involved in the shooting died. Very thankful that the officers involved were not hurt, but I know that this individual has loved ones and family members that cared about him.
Now, as per standard procedure, Michigan State Police is now in charge of the investigation. Reporting live, Nick Nelson.
We're able to catch up with some of them earlier today. This is
that are going on as to what happened. But regardless of what happened, no one deserves to be handled like that.
Elizabeth Elliott describes her nephew as a father who loved to sing.
He loved to sing with anybody, and he could sing.
So wait a minute. What I'm trying to understand and what I'm trying to really narrow down here is, did he have a gun or didn't he have a gun? Because I seen on the other video that they had showcased a gun. Now, I'm assuming that wasn't the officer's gun, and that was actually his gun. So I just want to be very clear before I give my opinion on this. Did he have a gun or didn't he have a gun? I want to be very clear before I give my opinion. Did he have a gun or didn't he have a gun? They said he had a gun. I know what they said. I want to be sure that he actually had a pistol and not assume that he had a pistol based off of what they said. They said he had a gun. On the other video, let me show. Okay, let me go back for a second. Let me go back. Let me show you what I seen on the other video.
What TV8? This is a breaking news.
Where's it at? That's what they showed. I'm assuming that is his pistol, and that is not the pistol of the police officers that wind up killing him. That's what they showed on the screen at the press conference. And again, I want to be very clear of what I'm looking at because I'm watching it intently and I'm trying to make sure about what's going on and what's happening before I give my assessment and my conclusion of this whole situation. So that is not a duty gun. Okay, so he did have a gun. He did have a gun. All right. Now that I know that he actually had a pistol, let's go back to the other story because I want to hear what the mama said.
Breaking news now on 13 on your side.
No one deserves to be handled like that.
Elizabeth Elliott describes her nephew as a father who loved to sing.
He loved to sing with anybody.
Somebody said not brandishing is a civil suit. Not when you a felon, not when you on parole, and not when you're not supposed to have a pistol in the first place. I'm not really sure that you can actually file a civil suit against the police when it's not clear cut of whether or not the police had justification for deadly force. Now, I'm not saying that the police should have killed him, but I'm pretty sure that you, on the behalf of a felon that's on parole that's not supposed to have a pistol in the first place, I'm pretty sure that you're not going to have a case against the police. And I think that that's the bigger issue, because we sit here and we try to figure out what's the details, and we want to look at the body cam footage, and we can try to figure out what the body cam footage and all of that is. But I always lean towards this. How can I not put myself in the position to ever have a police officer pull out a gun on me in the first place? We need to ask all of the questions. You can ask, okay, well, was he brandishing it, and was he doing this, and was he doing that? Sure, absolutely. You can ask all of the questions that you need to try to figure it out. The questions that I first start asking myself is, why is this nigga with a kid on a bicycle running from the police, and he got a pistol in his jacket? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Why is he on a bike with a pistol on parole, and he had a previous gun charge? Guess what I'm probably not going to be doing, because I don't want to go back to jail, and I don't want to get caught up in no BS, and I don't want to get, you know what I'm saying, be away from my kid and not be able to raise my kid. Guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to be a parolee on probation, or whatever it is that they say, with a previous charge, not supposed to have a weapon, riding around with a weapon. Guess what you eliminate? You eliminate all of the possibilities of anybody that could say that you should or you shouldn't have been doing. We won't even be having this conversation at all. There is no police chase. If I'm not running for the police, if I don't have a pistol that I'm not supposed to be having. Now, of course, that does not justify. And again, I want to go through and look at it a little bit more. That does not justify the police and taking his life. But guess what you remove when you do things the right way? Any kind of questioning of whether or not they should have even been chasing you in the first place.
Seeing he was
because now your mama is going to be crying, and your auntie and your sister's going to be saying, he loved to sing, and he loved to do that, and he loved to do this. They're not going to be talking about how good of a person you are, and then people are going to be questioning like, I don't know. This rap sheet says something a little bit different.
The dad, he took care of his kids.
Elliot says she wants to see the body cam footage of Wednesday night's shooting, adding that will be the only way they can get answers.
If we have him detained and he's already on the ground, why did it take him to have to shoot him? Why couldn't they tase him? Why couldn't they just get more people there? The dog.
You can't start to justify how a person is supposed to handle a situation when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Why didn't y'all get more people? Why didn't y'all tase them? Why did y'all let the dog out? I don't want to have that conversation, so I'm not going to do what I'm not going to not do what I'm supposed to do. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to have that conversation, so I'm not going to not do what I'm supposed to do. I don't want nobody sitting there saying why, who, shoulda, woulda, coulda, did it. I don't want to do that. So guess what I don't do? I don't do stuff that I'm not supposed to do and put myself in a position to have to get chased by the police and get a dog released on me and have police officers pull a pistol out on me. I'm trying to figure out, how did he get to the position where he was running from the police in the first place?
This was already on him.
Kent County Commissioner Robert Womack says the officer-involved shooting happened in his district, and after talking with the family, he said he learned Johnson's kids watched what happened to their father.
His children also being in that apartment building, looking out the apartment building and watch the whole thing. They're calling their grandmother while this is going on. It's just a sad thing in this community, the trauma that those kids are going through. What do we have in place for those children?
What do you mean? Nigga, if you wanted your children to know what their father was going to be like when they growing up, guess what you don't do? You don't commit crimes, and you don't run from the police, and you don't run with a gun on you. When we going to start taking responsibility for the situation that we...
That march is supposed to start here at Miss Tracy's and go about a half mile to the apartment complex.
Now y'all marching again. Good luck with that. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Good luck with the march. Good luck with the march. Nobody cares about a march. It's all performative at this point. That's what I think about the Grand Rapids shooting. KTS Car Wash and Detail Service. Tony Esquire says, sup, AD, your Room 9 team is good, but it's you said previously, some people really focused on style over substance topics. Last night, Trump discussion was wild. These rhinos are worse than the liberals. I don't think that people know what they want, honestly, as far as different subjects. I've tried different combinations of different things. I think I'm going to start segmenting it. You know what else is funny? I like y'all feedback, and I'm starting to tune more into the chat, right? And so I was looking at the feedback this morning of what the people were saying on the Room 9 channel on the last night's show. People are so fickle. They're so fickle. Because I remember when they were saying, man, the Q show, the relationship show, need a more stable cast to where they're not rotating people in and out as much so that they can have some more consistency and better show dynamics. And then people are saying, man, I love the Wednesday show. For whatever reason, when you moved it to Wednesday, same show, same people, same on there, same shampoo, same everything. Man, when y'all moved it over to the Wednesday night, man, the dynamics, it was a great show. And then I'm reading the comments last night, and they said, because just the night before, they're like, man, this show was great. Then last night, they says, man, they probably need to have some rotating people in, like on a Wednesday show. Oh, it is what it is, man. You know what the most stressful thing is? One of the most stressful things ever as a content creator is managing different shows and trying to separate what the shows are and crafting each show's personality for its own while trying to please everybody at the same time. You'll never please everybody at the same time. You'll never please everybody at the same time, bro. That's just the way it is. Life 360 is 10 times better, AD. Really? I'll have to check it out. I'm going to look into it. AC Reviews the World says, AD, did you see the 11-year-old who killed his father for taking Nintendo Switch? They decide on if they should charge him as an adult. I seen something about a kid doing something and his father going down for it. What happened with that? It was a kid that did something and the father is getting charged for manslaughter. Casey says, y'all still human, can't be perfect all the time. I try. Kevin Stutter says, Anton, which one is better, mayo or Miracle Whip? It depends on what you're using it for. Depend on the application. Quasar says, no, AD was giving grace to Slimmy and quitting. He got frustrated because it keeps happening. AD always lets people rock out. Love the show. Shout out to Quasar. Crimson says, greetings to you, Lord Anton. Have a great weekend. Crimson, you so pretty. Crimson, you so pretty. You such a good person. I love having you around. 8 is forever says, what's your thoughts on people who break and breach an NDA? Lawsuit? Daniel says, people to love take God and others more seriously, AD. Consequences? Break it if you want to. That's why it's paperwork. Daddy and the Caddy, garnishments. Daddy and the Caddy says position is irrelevant. Was he an active threat? Daddy and the Caddy says civil cases need far less evidence than criminal. Deputy Mario says, will the Bears leave Chicago? What's your take? I think that the Bears have already left Chicago. The question is, will the Bears leave Illinois? Will they leave Arlington? Will they leave and go to Arlington Heights? Or will they go to Hammond, Indiana? Arlington Heights or Hammond, Indiana. They already gone from Chicago. Did you see Brandon Johnson's take on the whole situation? He's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's a complete idiot. Tony Esquire says, apologies for the errors in my previous super chat. I was typing while chasing my puppy. He hates getting his nails clipped. Shout out to you, Tony Esquire. I appreciate you. Call Joe Budden for advice. Shout out to you. But Joe Budden don't have to manage multiple different shows on a weekly basis like that. That's the difference. And all of his people is in person, so it's a different dynamic. You know what? I got a studio with multiple mics, multiple cameras. I can do an in-person show. I already piloted one before. I could bring an in-person show to Room 9 from people that just straight from Detroit. Three girls, three guys, in person, cooking. I can do that. I could do that. And then I'll bring in a special guest, whoever is popular that's in town to do a show. I'll bring them on as a special guest. And I'll have the special guests rotate in and out, depending on who they are. Maybe I'll bring in a special guest content creator or a special guest this or a special guest that. That shit will be hitting. Millionaire morning show with a crowd. Because then I'm not going to be able to just kick it with y'all like this. If I bring in a crowd, then I'm not going to be able to pay attention to the chat. Do I have time for that? Is the question, your car. When do we ever have time for anything? We make time. You know what I'm saying? When do we ever have time for anything? Somebody said, boy, you just got that phone. Why it already look old? Because I punish my shit. Look at that. See that? Beat the fuck out of my phones. See all of that? Look at that. I don't baby my stuff. See all of that? I don't put cases on my stuff. I'm not looking to try to make it look cute and all of that. I buy my shit to work. Nigga, these phones is gonna get $2,000 worth of work. What you talking about? These is iPhone 17 Pros. We working on these joints. This ain't for aesthetics. This is for work. We working on these. What you talking about? Give a fuck about no goddamn phone. We working. We texting, we typing, we doing business, we dropping them. We doing all of that. I just dropped this one this morning. I dropped it out. You know how you catch it and you do like this? I've gotten so good at dropping my phones, I learned how to kick them when they fall. Anton, why do you kick your phones when they fall? Because I got to soften the blow. And so if it falls straight down and it just hit smack, it's probably going to break. But if I kick it, and it just jumps, kick it over there, I've gotten that good, bro. Every time I drop my phone, oh shit, kick that bitch. And that mug be good to go. Pick it up. Yeah. Every time I drop my phone, I'm kicking that bitch. Seriously, I've learned how to kick my phones effectively. It's like skating. Like when you skate, oh man, I might go skating tonight. My skates is in the truck too. Man, I'm getting all kind of ideas on point. I think I might go skating tonight. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Can you do a show on how to start a podcast, doing thumbnails, camera setup, etc.? I would have to tell y'all that inside of the page. Actually, I got a content creator live stream coming up on Monday. So Monday, we live streaming on the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We live streaming on Monday. All right. Shout out to you, Self-Made Forever. I appreciate y'all. All righty. I'm not getting no OtterBox, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not buying no cases. Not doing no OtterBoxes. I'm not doing none of that. We not doing that. All right.
Trump says tonight he has signed a new order putting a 10% tariff on imports from all countries. The president said earlier today he would enact new tariffs under a federal law known as Section 122, which allows him to implement them for 150 days. After that, he would need Congress's approval. Thanks for joining us tonight for K2 News at 11, everyone. I'm Barry Mangold. The president was relying on the International Emergency Economic Powers Act for his...
Let's do this. Let's get off of that.
Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court. And it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. Having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that this should have anything at all to do with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement. I won by millions of votes. We won in a landslide. With all the cheating that went on, there was a lot of it. But we still won in a landslide. Too big to rig. But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. They're very loud. And I think certain justices are afraid of that. They don't want to do the right thing. They're afraid of it. This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security. And also, I would say, just for our country itself, so important, because we're doing so well as a country. We've never done so well. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and authorities as recognized by the entire court in this terrible decision, and also as recognized by Congress, which they refer to, that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs available to me as President of the United States. And in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do, and it's very important, I wanted to be very well behaved because I wanted to do anything, I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court, because I understand the court. I understand how
been switching up his ties to be a little bit more stylish and a little bit more spicy lately. Gary Smith says, has the Supreme Court been politicized? Absolutely. The Supreme Court is supposed to be the final interpretation of the law, right? They're supposed to be the final interpretation of the Constitution, the implementation of the Constitution. So when other courts or appeals or different decisions is being made based off of political preference, instead of how the law or how the Constitution is supposed to be interpreted, then that's when the Supreme Court is supposed to step in, right? But here's the problem, is that nominees for the Supreme Court is recommended by whomever is president at the time and whoever is stepping down. So when you then get certain justices, right? Let's say you get more conservative versus more liberal. A lot of times it's more often than not reflective of whomever it is that's appointed them at that particular time. Now, this is just to answer your question about whether or not the Supreme Court has been politicized. It is. And unfortunately for us and for most people, politics plays a role in every single thing that we do, which is so funny to me how a lot of people will say, well, I hate politics, or I don't want to participate in politics, or I'm not interested in a political discussion. Politics plays a role in your household. It plays a role in the perception of your children. It plays a role in the funding in your schools. It plays a role in the women and the men that you choose to have spouses. Politics from the lens of people that don't want to participate only have to do with who it is that you vote into office. Politics exists in the decisions that you make in your household, how you negotiate with the people that are in your household, how you raise your children. What path do you want to take for them to be successful? What career? How do you want to rear them? How do we split up bills? How do we look at the hierarchy of power inside of your household? When you go to work every day, you are having a political discussion. You are not having a discussion based off of, oh man, are we putting together a product that's best for the customer? You're not. How do you get promoted? The same way that you get elected. Whomever it is that's good in the workplace is usually have the same traits and characteristics as people that are good marketing themselves, promoting themselves, and having conversations. How do you think that things get passed? How do you think that negotiations happen inside of Congress, the House, between the president and Congress, between aldermen and your mayors, between Republicans and Democrats that represent your state, as far as the state budget and the Capitol, certain projects that get passed through? Let me break it down for y'all a little bit better. This Chicago Bears moving conversation is not a conversation based off of what's best for the fans and football and who's going to throw a football the farthest and what your quarterback is going to do. None of that is in consideration of whether or not the Bears is going to build and stay and revamp in Chicago, move to Arlington Heights, or go over to Hammond, Indiana, or Gary. You know what determines whether or not the Bears go here or they go there? Politics. Politics is determining. Why? Because they are the ones that control the purse strings to incentivize or to turn off ownership that has leverage of where he wants his team to go. It's all based on politics. Everything, the property taxes that you pay, the taxes that you pay, federal, local, the rules of what happens and what determines whether you get arrested. If a police officer even have to wear a body cam, it's all politics, everything. And I used to hate politics, but it wasn't until I learned how to understand and play the game is when I started to be more successful and having a better impact in my community, in my state, and ultimately to be one of the biggest content creators in Michigan, and certainly the biggest content creator inside the city of Detroit. Shit, you can determine who gets elected just by having an opinion as a content creator. If Joe Rogan showed you anything, is that he had the power to help sway in a whole fucking election for the president of the United States of America. It's politics, baby. That's all it is. You can't fight it. You just have to adjust. Politics determined what the age was in Denmark for whether or not people or for whether or not kids can get on social media. Politics determined whether or not TikTok will remain in the hands of Chinese developers and investors. Politics determine whether it's going to be a bridge or whether you're going to have some roads down here or whether or not they're going to tear this freeway. They're tearing out I-375 over here and making it Greenway again. It's all politics. Everything is politics. So you need to learn how to embrace it and adjust to it. Not get mad at it because you getting mad at something ain't going to make them like you no more. You can get mad at the hoes. It's not going to mean that they're going to like you. You know what they're going to say? Oh, he an angry one. We're not giving him no box. No box for you. Just because you get mad at the women don't mean that you're going to bully them into giving you box. You know what you do? You adjust. Oh, man, these women ain't tripping off of that, man. They not the same. They're not traditional no more. Okay, so what do? You start to adjust to whatever the circumstances is. The environment. Oh, okay, I see. So they thirst trapping. All right. They clout chasing. Okay. All right. They like you more when you have more available. When other women is all on your team, all of a sudden, all of the other women want to be on your team. Okay. So you make adjustments. You don't get mad. You make adjustments. All the women playing a different type of game right now. Okay. So I got to focus, instead of focusing more on them, I got to focus more on myself because I got to be selfish. And when you get selfish, that means that they want to be a part of the team. You don't get mad at the women. That's when you become an incel. Then you really don't get no box. So what you do? You adjust. The circumstances is different. Times is different. That's the name of the game. It's adjustments. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it.
They're very easily swayed.
It's just the truth.
I want to be a good boy. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained. Think of that. Nobody thought it was possible to do it within 4 years, and we did it in 1 year. They said, you'll never be able, you'll go back and you read the geniuses, read their statements, all of the Nobel Prize winners in economics. They said, no, you couldn't do it in 4 years.
What is Trump doing? I told y'all this and we had this conversation the other day. Remember when I was telling y'all about this a couple weeks ago? And I said that Trump was giving a masterclass on how to continue to market and promote himself. What is he doing? He's speaking less to the issue and he's speaking more to the things that he's done successful in order to bring visibility on why you should get on board with his agenda, because he's highlighting all of the successes. The Dow has broke 50,000. We've got more going into this. We're taking care of business on that. We on top of things. We're fulfilling campaign promises. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. He's spending less time focusing on the thing that other people think is important and more time pushing what he wants people to know about what his administration is doing well. It's a masterclass in marketing, and marketing is in everything that you do.
Well, we didn't do it in 4 years. We did it in 1 year. We broke every record in the book, and we're continuing to do so. Tariffs have likewise been used
Thank
to
you, Big
end
Cole. I'm gonna read that shortly.
5 of the 8 wars that I settled. I settled 8 wars, whether you like it or not.
What is he doing?
Including India, Pakistan, big ones, nuclear, could have been nuclear. Prime Minister of Pakistan said yesterday at the great meeting that we had, the Peace Board, he said yesterday that President Trump could have saved 35 million lives by getting us to stop fighting. They were getting ready to do some bad things. But they've given us great national security, these tariffs have. And together with our strong borders, reduced fentanyl coming into our country by 30%. When I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison into our country.
He's making the case for tariffs. Listen, the Dow is up. We get rid of illegal migrants. We penalize, and then what that does is it stops people from crossing over to the borders. To speak to the question that you asked me in the beginning of this segment, is the Supreme Court politicized? Absolutely, 100%. In a perfect world, you'd have Supreme Court justices that are straight down the middle, that don't necessarily have an agenda on one side or the other, but they're purely there to interpret the law and to interpret the Constitution and how it's being implemented in the United States of America. But guess what we don't have, and guess what we'll never have? You know why? Because they're human. And human feel some type of way. And humans think a certain type of way. And humans are influenced by the way that they grew up. And humans have a background. And humans love women. And the humans love men. And the humans like money. And the humans love success. And the humans are impacted by different things. And they see things. And so you try to find the most impartial person ever. But in reality, what it's become is become politicized. And that's why you have certain presidents. And you know, when we have conversations a lot of times and we say, man, is this person going to be president or not, is so many other factors more than just what the talking points are. You know who's a bad politician? Zoran Mandami. You know why? Because he promised people a bunch of things that he's not able to negotiate with either the governor or the city council over in New York, because they are the ones that determine in what. They are the ones that determine what happens inside of the city from a financial perspective, the purse strings.
To poison our youth. All of those tariffs remain. They all remain. I don't know if you know that or not. They all remain. Mm-hmm. We're still getting them. And we will after the decision. I guess there's nobody left to appeal to. But again, those 3 people, such respect. I've had a lot of respect for them anyway, but such great respect. But other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives. Great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money. And we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, however, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1 because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision for those that thought they had us. And they're saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. So think of that. I have the right to license, which is a very powerful word. In many ways, license is more powerful than tariffs. In fact, I was thinking about using it. But they came up with the idea that I can license, just like the people that were opposing me told them to do, but not the right to charge a license fee. Think of that.
The backbone of Trump's presidential agenda and economy is all based off of tariffs. It is not based off of the big, beautiful bill. It is not based off of war with Ukraine. It is not based off of the Epstein files. It's not based off of illegal migration into this country. All of that matters, and all of that is very, very, very important. Those are things that we voted on him for. But the backbone for the country and the determining factor for the future of this country. And I read yesterday that there's, over the next 10 years, tariffs as implemented by Trump can bring in the equivalent of $7 to $10 trillion over the next 10 years. It is going to be based off of tariffs. Trump's successes is going to be based off of his ability to make money for the country, hopefully at some point pay down debt, generate more revenue by incentivizing other countries to do business and manufacture here in the United States of America, and then ultimately pay down debt. And at the heart of that is our military. That's a whole nother conversation. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats and see what y'all talking about. What up, yo? It's Eric TV. Sup, AD? What up, Eric? Tony says hating someone is one thing, but their results should be assessed rationally. For example, although I dislike LeBron James' political views, as a Pistons fan, I'd trade a Thompson for him. I don't know. That's a big ass, bro. You trade a Sar Thompson for him? I don't know, man. Asar Thompson is a defensive monster. Because, and let me tell you why I'm questioning that. It's not that LeBron James is not better than Asar Thompson. That's not what I'm saying. LeBron James is significantly better than Asar Thompson. But here's the problem. Does LeBron James fit better with what the Pistons are doing than Asar Thompson? I don't know if I would trade Asar for LeBron. I don't know. You talking about salary, you talking about defense, youth, fitting into the whole core of what the Pistons is putting in, not needing a lot of shots in order to be effective. I don't know. The Pistons is number one in the NBA. A lot of people don't realize that. Pistons is number one in the NBA. I don't know if y'all know that. We've literally overtaken OKC. A lot of people may not know that. Top of the top. Top of the top. A lot of people may not be familiar now. I don't see the Lakers up there. I don't see the Lakers up there. I don't see the Lakers up there. There they are. Way down there, right below the New York Knicks. They working though. Hey, Sacramento is trash. Don't they got DeMar DeRozan? Dang, that's a little bad out here. Let's see what's going on over here. What? No way. Oh. Dang. The guy that ran Hutch's. A lot of y'all may not be familiar with Hutch's. That's crazy. Hutch's is a big jeweler here. And the guy that ran Hutch's, this guy right here, he is staple in Detroit. Everybody go and get they chains, they jewelry, they Cardis from him and stuff like that. They said he passed away off of fake perks. He OD'd on fake Percocet. Dang. No way, bro. No way. I just seen him on a live the other day. Yo, listen. Now, a lot of y'all may not be familiar with it because it's a Detroit thing. But yo. Hey, let me ask y'all a question. I'm not an advocate for drug use at all. First of all, do y'all not realize that Fenty is tearing y'all out the frame? That Fenty, listen, y'all, they got it laced in everything. It's in everything. It's in y'all pills. It's in y'all heroin. It's in everything, bro. Y'all, I'm telling you, bro, y'all better stay out of that. I know it seemed cool because all of the rappers got it going on. What happened to just smoking trees? What happened to that? Like, what happened to just going getting some gas and zoning out? And again, I'm not an advocate for drug use in any way, shape, or form. So don't take this as me saying this is what you should or shouldn't do. I'm just saying that I remember back in the 90s and the 2000s, you ain't got some gas. Well, they called it the chronic, right? You got that from the West Coast. You went and got some chronic, and that was it. That was it. You just chilled. You zoned out. Nobody tripped. Nobody was trying to fight because everybody was just chill, a little bit slow motion. Not everybody on pills. Everybody was pilled up. Pill heads. And y'all listen, I'm just telling y'all, the drugs ain't drugging the way that they used to, bro. You can't do the same thing no more, man. They got this junk laced to the max. And that Fenty is no joke, bro. It is no joke. It's taking out everybody. Everybody. It's taking out everybody, man. It's no joke. And they not messing around with that, bro. Y'all better slow down. Y'all niggas is too young to be dying like that. This nigga's popping. He had the whole city on lock. Okay, so wait a minute. Back break comedy. They lacing the street gas. They ain't lacing the stuff that they got inside of the dispensaries though. Because it's supposed to be regulated, right? Or am I off? Because again, I'm not familiar with what's happening out there. Because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not into all of that. They can't lace it, and the whole reason for them to legalize it was not just to tax it, but it's to also make sure that they ain't got that bullshit in it, right? The stuff in the dispensary is not laced, right? They can't get bad. I've never heard of, not one time in my life, bro. I've never heard of anybody going under from smoking trees. And again, I'm not saying that y'all should. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when I be seeing people dying from perks and stuff like that, that's crazy. I ain't never heard of nobody going OD from getting the dispensary stuff. Because it's all regulated and you can get easily shut down. And ain't nobody trying to get shut down over that. Man, go get you some box and chill out, bro. That's what it is. If you feeling some type of way, go get you some good food, some good eats, get you some box, and get high off life, bro. Get high off life, man. Straight up. That's what it all comes down to, bro. Go get you some box and relax, chill out, and get you some consistent box, because you can't just have any box. Now the box is laced. It's laced with herpes. It's laced with chlamydia. Get you some normalized box, bro, and you good, man. It ain't even worth it no more, bro. Get high off hoes. Shit. You can't have nothing no more. God damn. What's a good leisure activity for you to relax to? Niggas is ODing. It is, bro. It is the worst of times. I don't know what's going on out here in the streets. Dog just died. He young. He young. He young. These young light-skinned niggas is getting ODing. Fuck. That's why I'm in the crib, bro. So the playoffs start. When the playoffs start with the Pistons, I'ma pop back out. To the end, I'm chilling. Till then, I'm chilling. Collard greens, my collegeist says, where is your wife? You need to fix it. What the fuck is you talking about? Bitch, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you talking about. We good over here. Me, her, nigga, she the one that just sent me the message. We good over here. Fix your punk ass household. We straight over here in the Anton Daniels multiple different castle situation. You need to fix that situation. Nigga, suck my dick, bitch. The fuck is you niggas talking about? I got my shit under control over here. Nigga, you ain't never seen nothing having no problems over here. Nigga, yeah, you must be new here, listening to rumors on the internet. And trust me, listen, let me just say this, because it's Saturday, so I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of a cherry pick. I'm not forgetting nothing. I know everybody think that they got one up, all of my fan pages, but I am not going to let anything. I have to make sure that I take care of things in order and in fashion. But I promise you, on everything, on my life, on my daughter's life, I'm not going to let nothing go at all. It's going to be slow. It's going to be meticulous. It's going to be painful. It's going to be so excruciatingly painful that you will trust me. They should have never gave me money. They should have never given me money. I promise you, I will not let one stone go unturned. Any and all will be in it. And I can't tell you no more than that. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about it. I'm chilling. I'm slow motion. I'm in a good space. The money is money in. The subscribers is up more than they ever been. So we gonna be patient with it, but we gonna do it the right way. We can't get caught up the same way that we would normally get caught up. We got to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more calculated, but I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to let it go. And nigga, it's going to be excruciatingly painful. I have never let anybody get away with the shit that they got away with. And then they survive, they platforms, and nothing is going to go unnoticed. I promise you. I promise you. Do your thing. Get everything you can right now, because it's never going to. I know y'all niggas think that y'all got it, but you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. But I'm gonna just leave it at that. Listen, I know everything. Y'all don't have to tell me the names. I got people recording the names. I got people taking down, getting the list, checking it twice. Santa Claus said, if you're naughty, you're nice. But we cool. Everything is great. Everything is awesome. I love everybody. I would never do anything for real to anybody. So I'm 1000% in love with everybody. All right. Y'all ready to continue on with the show? All right, let's continue. What else we talking about? What else we got on the menu? We got the Trump tariffs. Y'all was asking me to cover some other stuff too. We did Burnout. What is this? All right, hold on. Let me see something. Let me pull this up.
How dare you! I haven't really said much, but now it's time.
A new Netflix docuseries, Reality Check, Inside America's Next Top Model, includes shocking allegations.
I realized Tyra would do anything for the success of her show.
I knew I went too far.
About one of the most popular reality TV shows ever.
That was a moment where I realized, oh my God, I think we built a monster.
There's a lot that happened. I wish that it had been handled differently. I wish that it had been dealt with in a different light.
Hello, lady! With more than 300 contestants in all across 24 seasons, America's Next Top Model helped define the early aughts of reality TV before it ended in 2018.
We've grown up loving and watching one of our favorite shows of all time.
I started rewatching America's Next Top Model season 1, and I could not believe the things that came out of those people's mouths.
In the past few years, a different generation of fans binging the show with new eyes. The show becoming a poster child for how quickly society's views can shift.
Now there's a twist. We are actually going to switch your ethnicities. Kenya, Korean. Noelle, we're making you into a traditionally African woman with a head wrap and everything.
It really is incredible how different things were 20 years ago.
I didn't think too much into it.
I didn't think anything about it either.
Welcome back to another episode of Why America's Next Top Model is the most toxic show of its decade.
The most unattractive thing in the world to me is a quitter.
This show is literally why I experienced eating disorders growing up.
Bro, if y'all are experiencing eating disorders because you was watching America's Next Top Model, then I think that you need to hold your parents accountable and not Tyra Banks. If people are focused more on Tyra Banks, if Tyra Banks was your mother and y'all are doing think pieces on America's Next Top Model, do you know what America's Next Top Model is? It's the ultimate clout chasing opportunity. It's the ultimate vanity project. It's the ultimate vanity project. It's the pinnacle of what we look at and we say, what the fuck is wrong with you? And you are willing to do anything to be accepted, praised, exalted, and be showcased as a pony. You're a pony. You're a showcase pony. And you're willing to do anything for the acceptance of other people. If you think that Tyra Banks' perspective of you is what determines whether or not you're going to be successful or you're not going to be successful, bro, y'all need to go outside and touch fucking grass, bro. Touch grass. I'm telling you. Listen, when I see people talk on the internet, honest to God, it is the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. The internet is, boy, have it been changed into something that it probably was never supposed to be. Because I'm telling you, I don't know where y'all living at. Most people are normal fucking people. Most people are regular people. Man, when you go outside and you go and you count 100 people walking down the street, go to any major metropolis and go and walk down the street on a regular Saturday afternoon, 99 out of 100 people are normal people. Matter of fact, you might run into 100 people out of 100 people that are normal people. Why are y'all so obsessed with what the internet is saying? When I see y'all out in the streets, when I see y'all at the meetups, when I shake y'all hand, when we kick it, when we party, you know what I see? Normal people that's looking to become better versions of themselves, that's looking to make more money, that's looking to level up. What are y'all so obsessed with? Go outside, touch grass. Real talk. Guess what? Regular people split bills inside of their household. They both contribute, both the man and the woman. All you hoes that's out here talking about, nah, I ain't never going 50-50 with a man. Shut the fuck up. You are a liar. You're going to do whatever it is that y'all got to do in order to make sure that y'all got a roof over your head and that hopefully y'all have a few. And you praying that he don't leave you. You praying that he don't find somebody else and he trades you in for 220s. You're praying that your kid don't turn out gay. While you sitting there with a gay best friend, you praying that your son don't turn out gay. Nigga, people out here capping. Like, what do you mean? Why have y'all been worshiping celebrities for all of this time? I seen 42 million of y'all praying that Trump cut back on the food stamps and that the Democrats relented so that they can open it back up to government, because you was over there talking about you can't get your kid no bologna for the week. You were the ones that were on the internet talking about, oh my God, I can't believe the Democrats and the Republicans. All of a sudden you became political. You wasn't political before they cut off the food stamps. Now you wanted to get involved with the political process. All of a sudden you became an expert on the difference between conservatism, and liberalism. Then you became an expert because they cut off your fucking food stamps and your Section 8 housing vouchers wasn't vouchering that week. Shut the fuck up. You're a liar. They're like, I see these fucking big backs sitting there talking about, oh my God, Anton. What were you talking about? You would kill to be in the same shoes as some of the women that's around me. Are you smoking crack? I see you riding on 2 spare tires, one in the front passenger and one in the back rear. You got 2 spare tires. You don't have preferences. You have spare tires. You don't have preference. Your car rides like this. Two spare tires, no tags, no insurance, no registration. You know how I know? Because I see you delivering my DoorDash. And you be ready to cry when I give you an extra $15 on top of what I tipped you inside of the app. Oh my God, I'm so thankful. And then you get on the internet and start acting tough, typing tough inside of the comments. Bitch, get your life together. Stop acting like that. Niggas is pretending. All of a sudden, all of these niggas been getting all of these hoes in high school and shit like that. Where? All of you niggas was getting pussy? All of y'all? Everybody was getting pussy. I know how old I was when I lost my virginity. And it ain't nothing to brag about. I wish I would have stayed focused. Hello. Hey, just a quick question. How old was I? How old was I when I lost my virginity? 11, I think it was. 11, 12. All right, I was just trying to see something. All right, thanks. Okay. Nigga, I had more hoes at 11, 12 years old than you niggas had your whole life. Your whole life. Nigga, by the time I hit high school, I was chilling. I was so comfortable. I had already seen and did it all, nigga. I had did everything that I wanted to do by the time I hit high school. By the time I hit high school, I was done with these. So I had already learned the game. I had two older brothers that was 6 and 7 years older than me. I was fresher than you. I was better than you. I had more hoes than you and all of that. And guess what I don't do? You know why I don't do it? You know why I don't talk about how great I was in high school? Because I'm out of high school and I'm 43 fucking years old, about to be 44. The fuck I give a fuck about high school anymore. But then you got these cornball ass niggas jumping on the internet talking about, nigga, I bet you wasn't getting no hoes in high school. You're right, because I had them in elementary school, nigga. Probably fucked your teacher. Fuck is these niggas talking about? High school? Nigga, high school was an alley-oop. All we did was pass the ball. Nigga, all we did was alley-oop to the homies. The shit was like a layup line. It was a layup line. High school was a layup line. I went to Cass Technical High School, nigga. Do you know we had 2,000 students in the incoming freshman class? You know how much box was there? It was free box everywhere. Box everywhere, nigga. There was no shortage of box. It's like 4,500 students in there. You can't miss. You can't miss. The fuck is these niggas talking about? Go the fuck outside. I'm looking at my high school right there. Go outside. Go outside, bro. Honestly, go outside and touch grass. I don't know what these people is talking about anymore. Somebody said, who was that? That was my mom. My mom had to put me in Boxolitis AA. Boxolitis Anonymous. Hi, my name is Anton. I'm 12 years old and I'm a Boxolitis recipient. Hi, Anton. Nigga, why do you think they sent me to an all-boys school? They said, we got to get this nigga away from anything that got box in it. Get him away from UPS boxes. Get him away from U-Haul boxes. Nigga, that's why they put me in an all-boys school. That's the whole reason why they sent me to private Catholic school. They said, get this nigga away from anything that got a girl on it. It's the whole reason why they sent me, dummy. You think they wanted to send me? You think they wanted to pay for tuition? You think they wanted to give up a new car and pay for tuition? No, nigga, that's why they sent me to the school.
Now, several former contestants pull back the curtain on what they say was top model's toxic culture of alleged racism, exploitation, and body shaming.
But I think she needs to tighten up.
She got a wide ass. It's kind of wide. But the show pushing back, saying it was in line with reality show TV and was a reflection of the modeling industry of the time.
Looking at that show through the lens of today, it's like, whoa, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Y'all don't like my crash outs? Listen, if y'all, how are y'all not entertained? It's Saturday. Ain't nobody popping off on a Saturday. You know all of these live streams is dusty. Are you niggas not entertained or no? Are y'all not entertained? I'm giving you peak entertainment on a Saturday. I'm giving you peak entertainment on a Saturday. And I'm going to give it to you on a Sunday too. We live streaming on Sunday too.
Okay, Tara said, yeah, she made she did some, she said some. And I thank you for that.
Supermodel Tyra Banks, the reality show's co-creator and host, called out by some on social media for her comments in the docuseries.
She's disconnected. She's condescending. She's not taking any responsibility.
Tyra Banks, the only thing you brought to this documentary was you and this trench coat, okay? No accountability whatsoever.
It's amazing how things change. The things that we say today in 2026 is going to be looked at as, oh my God, I can't believe they were talking like that in 2026. We look back at all of I seen people doing an analysis on TikTok about real world and road rules. And they were trying to talk about how toxic real world road rules are. It's crazy, bro. It's so crazy. The things that we talk about today and that we promote today is going to be looked down upon after 2026. And people are going to be talking about how toxic we are. They bring Tyra Banks to the front of the congregation and trying to make it seem like that she was a bad person on a show that they signed up for. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Amazing. Amazing. Tony says hating someone is one thing, but their results should be assessed rationally. Oh, yeah, I rocked out with that. Shout out to you. B, what up, B Nicole? B Nicole says, hi, friend. The Tasha K interview was so, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Was so good. I bet it didn't go how she expected. I hope y'all all get together. Yeah, Tasha's supposed to be coming to Detroit. We're going to get that second interview in. We're going to do it on my terms this time. I went to her platform, and now she got to come to my platform. Good energy. Rita was a cherry on top. Oh, you heard about that one? Shout out to V Nicole. Trinity Hurd says, just finish your video consumed by analysis paralysis on Patreon. What up, Trinity? You should probably be on America's Next Top Model. On Patreon, you inspired me to finally start a YouTube channel. I'll share it on Discord when it's uploaded. Thank you. Hey, your car. Trinity Hurd. Let's get her visible. Let's see what she got. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, get a room 9 Patreon AD. I'm about to do an in-person show. I thought about it today. And I got the blueprint for it, but I'm gonna do it I'm gonna do it for real. I got you. Don't worry about it. We got something new coming to room 9. Jesse V, what up, Jesse V? I appreciate you. AR is back, says, you listen to that new Babyface E-Time dog? No, I like Babyface E though. I haven't heard anything that dropped over this weekend that dropped yesterday. So Carrington Love Jr. says, no, Anton, do not smoke street weed either. Why would I'm not smoking. I'm not interested in smoking at all. I'm saying that remember back in the day that all you had to deal with is trees. Nobody ever considered doing the perks and the mollies and all of that junk. That shit is relatively new within the last 20 years. My high school friend went up out of here last year over fentanyl-laced trees. I don't even smoke street weed, store-bought pre-rolls or nothing. That's a fact. I feel you. I feel you, bro. Jesse V Royalty says, hubby in town for the weekend, vibing with AD. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to you and hubby. Shadow Dragon says, best mixture of high value information and entertainment. Keep doing your thing, big dog. Looking forward to the next Content Creator Patreon. It's happening Monday. Content Creator Patreon is on Monday. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tony Esquire says, Cass Tech is an outstanding, nationally recognized high school, which explains AD's intellectual acumen. I dated a female who attended Renaissance. Did you? Yeah. Shout out to Renaissance. Shout out to Renaissance. Shout out to Mumford. Shout out to Denby, Cody, everywhere. Shout out to everywhere. But shout out to my technicians. Shout out to the technicians, Cass Tech class of 2000. Yeah. Let's see what we got going on. What else we got on the docket? Let's see what I have for y'all. Car prices, ByteDance, AI. LaMelo's crash, nah. Property. Oh, wait a minute. We already did that yesterday. I don't want to deal with, is it anything else in particular y'all want me to talk about? Let me ask the chat before I pick something. The lawyer, Bears losing the stadium. I talked about that yesterday, though. The Bears losing the stadium. The lawyer that whispered in the dude's ear. What lawyer that whispered in the dude's ear? What are y'all talking about? The lawyer that whispered in the dude's ear. Talk about money. What you want me to talk about with regard to money? What was your super chat about? Self-made forever. CTA train crisis. Abe the Hunter sent Lex. Oh, Lex Wexner. Lex Wexner. I heard about that. Let me see something. I don't know exactly what's going on with Lex.
I think I'm giving a long answer, but to understand in context, because if I just say yes or no, you won't understand it. And I really want this whole group to understand it. And I never would have guessed I was being conned. Never, ever. The deceit was so subtle. Yes, I know.
Answer the question.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure we all appreciate the stories. We're just trying to answer the questions they actually wanted the answers to.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
I hope it is.
And could I ask you, I think you said in the last hour, it was your understanding that Mr. Epstein, while he was working for you, also had other clients. Is that right?
Yes.
So would that mean that his work for you, you understood it to be part-time?
I wouldn't describe it that way. I knew it wasn't I thought it wasn't full-time because he had other clients of substance, real substance.
So let me ask a question, because I'm looking at this and I looked up Lex Wexner and it looks like it says that he's an American businessman and former CEO of Victoria's Secret. Conned by Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire businessman who was conned by Jeffrey Epstein, graduated at Ohio State University, briefly enrolled in law school before leaving to help run the family's retail business. Hold on, I got you. Testifying before the House.
You get this, and this. And a
What is this
McChicken,
song? What is this
or a
song?
McDouble, or a Daily Double.
Stop that. About his long controversial ties to Epstein, lawmaker questioned him after newly released Justice Department files, commonly called the Epstein files, revealed fresh details about their decades-long relationship. Wexner, 88, told Congress he was duped and conned by Jeffrey Epstein, calling him a con man who betrayed his trust. Said he had no idea about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and denied any wrongdoing. While some Democrats remain skeptical about the extent of his financial support to Jeffrey Epstein, Wexner insists he cut ties in 2007 after discovering financial misconduct. He also said Jeffrey Epstein repaid a large sum of money despite his name appearing over 1,000 times. In the Epstein files, Wexner has never been charged. Founder of L Brands, into a retail powerhouse, brands like Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, and Abercrombie and Fitch becoming staples in malls across America. Okay, so Lex Wexner is a businessman, and basically he said he was done with Epstein back in 2007. So now he is being deposed, and this is what's happening because it looks like he's answering these questions in depth, right? He's going into great depth. When they ask him a question, they just be quiet, and he continues to talk. And he goes into detail. So let me give you an example.
Understood it to be part-time. You also had other clients. Is that right?
Yes.
So would that mean that his work for you, you understood it to be part-time?
I wouldn't describe it that way. I knew it wasn't I thought it wasn't full time.
So that's why his lawyer is frustrated then. His lawyer is frustrated because he's adding too much context. He's going into detail too much. And so let me tell you what a lawyer is there for you for. A lawyer is there to protect you against yourself. A lawyer is there to protect you against yourself. Yes, no, I'm not sure. I don't remember. And then you go from there. Anything you say more than that is too much. And so I can see why the lawyer, which I didn't get to that part yet, obviously, I could see why the lawyer would be kind of pissed off at him if he said anything more than that.
Because he had other clients of substance, real substance.
As a listener, it sounds like substantial demands that you're describing. You were, and of course are, one of the wealthiest people in the country, managing all of your personal affairs. I would think would typically demand all of somebody's bandwidth. It sounds like that was an issue with the guy before Epstein. How was he able to do that job, but also do work for other clients at the same time?
Well, I think Peg does the work now. I think you could supervise the work, overview it, which isn't the word.
He seems very coherent. I'm not sure why he's talking so much.
That I do, and say you could do really thorough work if you were doing it 3 or 4 days a month, certainly a week or a day a month, just focusing on these things because there are accountants and tax lawyers and other people. And then in setting up, as an example,
His lawyer is
and
hurt.
the idea to inventory furniture or valuables. And it's like, how could you have all silverware in your house? And I didn't count forks and spoons. And it's like, Jeff said, people could be walking out with forks and spoons. Like, gee, that's a good idea. We ought to have an inventory. But then there was, I hired a lady to be like the house manager who had run the U.S. Embassy in Rome. And said, yeah, I know how to do this. And I said, well, why don't we keep inventories of stuff? And she said, well, yeah, I could do that. So she did that as kind of a puny example, but I wouldn't have had the idea. But then all the things were inventoried. That wasn't work for me or Jeffrey. It was just regularly done.
Answer the question.
Okay.
I don't see what the problem is. So it was a tongue-in-cheek joke. So why everybody getting bent out of shape? He said, I will effing kill you if you answer another question in 5 words. If you answer another question with more than 5 words, okay?
But for me, it was just regularly done.
Answer another question in 5 words, okay? It was a joke. What's the problem? I don't see what the problem is. Listen, this is the way that I see it. This is the way that I see it. You need those type of people around you. You need those type of people around you. I don't see what the problem is. He doing too much. He answering too much. He adding too much context into it. You putting things at risk. You fucking up the bag. You're doing all of this stuff. The reason why you hire good counsel is so that they can tell you the truth and that they can protect you against yourself. So why are people so bent out of shape about this? First of all, I took it as he was just laughing. It's a joke. Man, we live in this society is so sensitive nowadays. You know, over the past 2 years, you know what I've learned even more over the last 2 months than anything before is that everything can be misconstrued and taken out of context to mean something different than what it really does. And nobody cares about the context. The only thing that people care about is whatever it is that you can put on the headlines. Every single thing could be taken out of context. And so that is one of the reasons why I say, well, let me go look for myself. I never formulated an opinion. And that's the one thing that I learned. And, you know, you could teach an old dog new tricks. That's what I learned with the whole fallout with Kwame Brown, right? That's the reason why I apologize. Now, I still think that Kwame Brown is weak. I still think that he is sucker. I still think that his platform is in the mud and he'll never, ever, ever, ever become a successful content creator. And he's going to try to sell you on the idea that, well, I don't really care about this. I'll just be on here joking around. No, nigga, you be on thumbnails. You want to be great. You want to be successful. You are really low-hanging fruit. And the only reason you got the visibility that you got right now is because you was the former number one pick and you did play in the NBA. But once that whole tired ass trick played out, nobody was checking for you. So that's a whole nother conversation. Facts, Jamie Green. That's what we want though, right? So we good with that. But we know that, right? We know that. So Kwame Brown, he has nothing to talk about. Nobody wants to hear his basketball takes. Nobody is interested in finding out what his thoughts is about Cade Cunningham, or, you know, if he thinks that the New York Knicks is ever going to actually make it to the NBA Finals, or why did the Pistons beat them 3 times in a row already. Don't nobody want to hear about that. They don't want to hear his thoughts on the draft. They don't want to actually hear him talk about basketball, right? So Kwame Brown is no different than the gossip girls that's on the internet. But what I've learned, what I actually have learned in the interaction that I was wrong about is I should have done my own research before, and that was the lesson that situation taught me. I should have done my own research before I had commented. So even in this situation where people's like, oh man, he said this, he said that. Okay, well, let me go and find out exactly what happened. Let me see what happened. And so it was just tongue in cheek. It's not really that big of a deal. So what? His lawyer made a little bit of a joke. He laughed. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Facts, Losway. Facts. He's so easy to get out of pocket. I could see why he was so. I mean, if it wasn't for Anthony Bennett, he might have been. Let me stop. Anyways, but yeah, I don't see what the problem is with the lawyer. I don't see any of that. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. One day I'm gonna show y'all what bullying really look like on the internet. I'm gonna really show y'all what it looked like. Bud at 305 says the problem is we are in an outrage era. Does Leslie like her new house? She loves it. She loves it. She adores it. Anyways, did y'all enjoy Saturday? Gave y'all a whole show out here on Saturday, and we're going to be back on Sunday. Gave y'all a whole show on Saturday, and we're going to be back on Sunday. Y'all not going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You can forget it. Y'all can't beat Boston. Y'all can't beat Boston with a injured Jason Tatum. Chris Cunningham, we not going to see y'all in the Eastern Conference Finals. Y'all never get past Boston. Under no circumstances will you ever even. We're not even going to see y'all. Cat he's so soft. Cat is so soft, bro. Karl Anthony Towns is soft. He's soft as butter. We had our third string center in there bullying that nigga. He was in there bullying Cat. Third string center was in there throwing his shot, making him cry, bullying him. Pistons ain't getting out the East. Okay. All right. I'll see y'all at the playoffs. Charles Watson says, "Sub AD in the bag chasers. Have you seen Diamond Gym in New Jersey? I think men need that type of mentality. Your thoughts? What is Diamond Gym in New Jersey? Diamond Gym. It's the world's most dangerous gym. Is that what they're saying? They calling it the world's most dangerous gym.
Today I'm trying the most controversial workout at Diamond Gym.
Champ, rip his shirt.
What? And when I say this gym is controversial, I'm not exaggerating, as the workouts here are so intense that even some of the biggest names in the fitness industry have called them psychotic, dangerous, and borderline impossible.
This bro, you want to go home?
And at the center of it all is a guy named Ung.
Don't disappoint because you will disappoint yourself.
Who,
you know what he remind me of?
The center of it all is a guy named Ung.
Don't disappoint.
He remind me of I don't know if y'all remember them old CT. Listen, I remember when YouTube first started popping off, they had them CT Fletcher videos. It was CT Fletcher. It was the dude that they called the Hulk. It was a bunch of people. This kind of remind me of them old CT Fletcher videos. Yeah, it kind of remind me of those. So they bringing that type of energy back. Kimbo Slice, CT Fletcher, all of that. I like it. I like it. I think it's good content. I think it's dope. Mike Rashid. I used to watch Mike Rashid all the time. Mike Rashid, I guess, kind of evolved. I don't know what happened to Mike Rashid. I don't know what his stuff is anymore, but I used to look at Mike Rashid all the time. Yeah, this is back on CT Fletcher.
Because you will disappoint yourself.
Who, unfortunately for me, is going to be my coach for the day. But before we can meet him, we got to meet his right-hand man.
I'm like good cop and Unk's like bad cop. I want you to make it through. He doesn't. After a while, he lightens up a little.
That's okay. Okay, so as expected, getting Unk's approval was going to be tough, which is why I came.
Man!
This was 13 years ago. 12 million views. Man, this is crazy.
You grow. You must grow. I'm the boss, motherfucker. I tell you what to do. You don't tell me. I told your ass to grow. Grow! That big ass on. My dream was to stroll down Compton Boulevard in the city and be the biggest. I'm obsessed with obtaining what you are trying to get. You have to be obsessed with.
I ain't seen these videos in a long ass time.
If you ever wonder, if you ever had a notion in your comic book reading ass mind, what would happen if ever, by chance, Superman met the Hulk? Well, goddamn it, stay tuned, motherfuckers. Peel your motherfucking eyeball. Devastation is about to take place. Superman and the Hulk on the same motherfucking roof. Getting shit done. You ain't gonna believe this shit. Woo! Come on, Hulk. You heard the legend?
Look at that nigga back. You see this nigga back? Look at that shit. The fuck is that? Look at this nigga back. This was 13 years ago. This is kind of OG YouTube, so this is what we grew up watching. This nigga looked like a fucking superhero, bro.
Heard of legend? Legends that speak? That's a walking legend right there. Legendary. They whisper about and whispering about in corners. Come on, Hulk. Woo! We about to break bread and eat up in this motherfucker. 4-5 for a warm up. 4-5 for a fucking fucking warm up. Huh? Power. 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 Hulk smash. Hulk smash.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. That was back in the day. That's OG YouTube. These niggas was different back then. Now it's a whole nother thing. But yeah, yeah, this is OG YouTube. So shout out to CT Fletcher. Shout out to Mike Rashid. Shout out to all of the OGs. All of that. Wasn't a whole bunch of content creators like it is now trying to clout chase. It was all about jokes, pranks, Vitaly, all of that type of stuff. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. Trend, Clyn, Abner, they all dying and getting sick, Anton. That's because it was different back then, man. They was juiced up and shit. It was juiced the fuck up. They was taking all of that shit. So yeah, man. Real Life PJ says, this took me to the end of my shift. Appreciate you, ADC. Tomorrow, same place. Facts. We back on tomorrow. I'm on it. Those shows are always the best. Shout out to my girl, Crimson. I love you, Crimson. Thank you, babe. All right. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Back at it tomorrow. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We got a live stream on Monday, and we getting it in. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm holler at y'all later. Peace.